well here on 365 Sports. We're now joined by UCF head football coach Gus Malzahn on 365 Sports with Paul Craig, and I'm David Smoak. Coach, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. What does just seeing the schedule now and its official mean?
Yeah, I tell you what's really big for us. Obviously, going to the Big 12 is big for our program in the future, and then you actually get to put dates with a schedule. And from a coach's standpoint, you know, you can start preparing and getting ready, you know, for the season.
Well, Coach, your first Big 12 game is against the defending conference champion. I know you welcome that challenge, but I mean, is that like what you'd call hazing? Is that what they do to the new guys?
Yeah, well, we got 5 road games, you know, 4 home games the first year, so you kind of figure that, you know, as a new team going into the conference. But you're exactly right. I mean, they won the Big 12. You have to go on the road, and you know, 2014 when I was at Auburn, I mean, we were a highly ranked team. We went in there on a Thursday night ESPN, and we just barely escaped with a win. And I think we were top 5 team in the country at the time. So I know how hard a place that is to go to anyway. But the kickoff conference schedule, you know, that's a big challenge. But like I said, we're excited and looking forward to it.
Coach, when a new schedule drops, what are some of the first things that you look at?
You know, really, I think from my standpoint is just, you know, the home and away, you know, and then you look at the different teams and, you know, try to plan accordingly. We got a very tough schedule. There's no doubt. 5 away games, 4 home games. We go to Boise, you know, out of conference, which is no treat either. But we got a real schedule. But like I said, we're just extremely excited to be joining the new conference and playing these new teams.
Coach Malzahn with us, UCF, again with us on 365 Sports. All right, when did you actually know this schedule? Was it today? Was it maybe a day or so ago? Because we know, and you know, it was delayed what seems like forever since we thought in October.
Yeah, no, I don't know exactly how long. I have had a really, really good idea about the teams we were going to play that were going to be home and away. We just didn't know the exact dates. So we just kind of kept that quiet and just kind of sat on it for, I don't know if it's been a month or so, something like that. But then you can kind of see the dates and how everything plays out. And then obviously strategically from a head coach's standpoint, you look to see where your open date is too. So we were just kind of waiting on those things.
It is obviously now very different. It's still not easy to build a roster, but there are more avenues for you to build a roster and change what you need. Do you feel like the last 2 years you've been able to start building the roster in the way that you can be as competitive as you'd like to be right away in the Big 12?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've done very well recruiting in the last couple of years. You know, the challenge is that, you know, about 3 months ago, that's when I really think everything changed, you know, as far as the one-time transfer, the NIL and everything. You know, and then you have other teams actively recruiting your players, and you may lose some. You got to replace them. So I just think there's more challenges from a head coach's standpoint right now than ever before. But I really feel good about the current players we have. Like I said, we've recruited. I think we've had both years the best recruiting class in school history back-to-back years. I think we'll do that again this third year. And that's what it's going to take going this next conference. I mean, there's great teams, great coaches, you know, in this conference.
Gus, I know you can't say anything specific about tomorrow, but there was the early signing period, and that's now become a thing, obviously. Is tomorrow, which normally would be like a national holiday in college football with national signing, is it the same?
No, I really what you've seen the last couple of years is the early signing period has really been the main one, I think, for everyone. For the most part, there's exceptions, and there'll still be few around the country. But for the most part, you know, I think teams have their roster pretty much figured out. You know, obviously the portal window closed a week or so ago. That was a huge time too. And we did very well in that area, and we needed to.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about John Rice Plumlee while we had you on. You've coached a lot of different places a long time. Have you ever had a quarterback that runs as fast and as well as he does?
Tell you what, I've been real blessed to coach some really fast guys. You know, he's right up there. There's no doubt. And each game, he got better at throwing the ball down the field, which is really good. If he would have stayed healthy, I mean, we'd have had a chance to, go to the Cotton Bowl and all that and see what happened in that game. But he did a really good job for us. Got a little banged up towards the end, but really feel great about his future. And then we got some other quarterbacks, with him that definitely can do a good job for us too.
Gus, I know you have a meeting to get into. We mentioned the fall of 2021 when everything became official of who was joining the Big 12. Understand what that meant. What does today, the times, the sites, and all that you mentioned, but what does today now that it's an official schedule mean to UCF football?
Yeah, I think for our fan base and probably even, the players, our fans, our boosters that have been here for such a long time, it is really historic. I mean, it's really a huge step for our program. I mean, there's been great players and great coaches before me that helped us get to this point. So I think it's just, from a program, from a school, fan base, all the above, it's just a huge step in the right direction. And this is a super place. I mean, this place is set up, and I'm just blessed to be the head coach here.
You guys have kind of a unique situation when it comes to telling your players some of the places they'll get to play games state-wise, and where a lot of the talent is Florida and Texas, where you guys are in Florida, where we are in Texas. And has that kind of made it unique and exciting for you to be able to go into Texas and recruit and tell people you're going to get to play games in Florida, or go into Texas, and all those things to kind of maybe overlap that, where the other schools in your state and the other schools in this state really don't get to say that?
Yeah, I think you're right. Of course, I'm very familiar with the state of Texas and recruited a lot of guys there in the past. So going to this new conference, I think it opens up some recruiting areas. This state in Florida, I mean, we're right in the middle of the state. I mean, it's like a gold mine as far as location goes in the state. There's so many great players, but taking that next step and going into the Big 12, Texas will definitely be a factor for us recruiting.
All right, last thing. You will have Baylor at home in your first, I believe, home game in the Big 12. They played in Orlando back when they played a bowl game, but it's not the same place. How do you describe, for someone who's not been there as a fan or a player, the Bounce House?
Yeah, the Bounce House is very unique. I've been real blessed to coach at, just about every venue in the country that with the big schools. And this is such a unique place. The stands and the fans are right on top of you. And they call it the Bounce House for a reason. It actually shakes, and you can really feel the ground shake it at certain times too. So it's a great place to play. And I think the Big 12 teams will enjoy coming here.
Thank you, Gus. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right, guys.
Thanks
you. For having me,
Gus
guys.
Malzahn, UCF football coach, the Knights, and, of course, as Craig reminded me,